Lily, a high school senior, walks down the street with her two friends, Ethan and Claire. As they laugh, there's a tension between them, their excitement overshadowed by nerves. Lily nervously whispered,
I still can't believe we're doing this. They say the pumpkin man only appears when the veil between worlds is thin.
Ethan scoffed, trying to hide his unease, and said,
Come on, Lily. You don't really believe those old stories, do ya?
Claire, glancing over her shoulder, murmured.
Maybe we should go back. It's getting late.
Lily whispered.
Too late for that. We're already here.
They stop in front of an old house at the edge of town. It's covered in overgrown vines, the windows boarded up, and a decaying pumpkin sits on the porch, its face twisted into a rotten grin. Lily quietly said,
This is it. This is where it all happened. The pumpkin man used to live here. Back when the town was founded, they say he carved pumpkins to capture souls.
Ethan laughed, but his voice wavered.
It's just a story. People say he comes back every Halloween to claim new souls, but no one's ever seen him.
Claire, with wide eyes, whispered.
What if tonight's the night?
Just then, as if on cue, the rotting pumpkin on the porch flickered to life. Its faint glow revealed a low, guttural growl from the dark depths of the house.
You shouldn't have come.
A voice whispered, deep and raspy, sending chills down their spines. Suddenly, the pumpkin on the porch burst into flames, throwing flickering shadows against the house's rotting walls. The teens stumbled back, fear gripping them. From the shadows of the doorway, a tall figure emerged. A man with a large, hollowed pumpkin forehead stepped forward, his twisted grin stretched impossibly wide, and his eyes burned with a fiery glow. The figure spoke, his voice like a low rumble.
Welcome to my house.
Panic set in as Ethan shouted.
Run!
They turned to flee, but the street behind them had vanished, replaced by an endless field of dead, towering corn stalks soaring ominously in the wind. The once familiar neighborhood was gone, and an eerie whisper seemed to fill the air. Lily cried out.
What's happening?
Claire screamed as tears welling in her eyes.
We are trapped.
The pumpkin man, his grin growing wider, took a step toward them and whispered,
You can't escape, not tonight.
The trio ran through the towering corn stalks, the day leaves scraping at their faces and arms as they desperately tried to find a way out. Behind them, the sound of steady footsteps echoed through the corn, slow and relentlessly.
We have to find a way out.
Lily gasped, her breath raged.
There's no end to this.
Claire cried, her voice breaking. They came to a sudden clearing where an ancient, crumbling scarecrow hung limply on a cross. Its beady eyes seemed to follow them, and at its feet lay a pile of rotting pumpkins. Ethan looked around frantically and muttered,
It's like he's everywhere. We're never getting out of here.
The scarecrow's head slowly lifted. Its mouth opened wide, and from it came a bone-chilling laugh.
He's coming for you.
The scarecrow rasped, its voice hollow and sinister. The wind picked up, the corn stalks rattling violently as the pumpkin man's eerie voice echoed in the distance, laughing and taunting them.
Let's play a game.
His voice whispered through the wind. The trio stumbled into another clearing, but this time it was filled with jack-o'-lanterns, their glowing faces twisted into sinister smiles. The air was thick with tension, and it became clear that each lantern represented a soul the pumpkin man had taken.
We have to destroy them.
Lily whispered urgently.
It's the only way to break the curse.
Ethan grabbed a rock and smashed one of the pumpkins, but as the pumpkin shattered, a ghostly figure emerged, its face contorted in agony. It let out a horrifying scream.
You'll never leave.
It wailed before vanishing into the night. Suddenly, the jack-o'-lanterns around them flickered violently, and in the distance, the pumpkin man's fiery eyes gleamed through the corn.
You broke the rules.
His voice growled.
Now it's time to join the others.
Surrounded by glowing jack-o'-lanterns, the pumpkin man advanced toward them, his towering figure casting a long shadow over the group.
We have to fight him.
Claire said, her voice trembling with fear.
It's the only way.
Lily spotted a nearby torch lying on the ground. She grabbed it and, as if by magic, it burst into an unnatural flame. She swung it toward the pumpkin man, and for a moment, his grin seemed to falter.
You think fire will stop me?
He sneered.
I am the fire.
The torch's flame flared brighter, and suddenly the surrounding jack-o'-lanterns exploded into flames. But instead of retreating, the pumpkin man stepped closer, his body transforming into a swirling mass of smoke and fire.
We have to destroy his heart.
Lily yelled.
His pumpkin head.
With a final desperate move, she hurled the torch at the pumpkin man's head. As it struck, his body erupted into a blazing inferno, and the cornfield began to burn, the flames spreading rapidly. As the flames consumed the pumpkin man, the world around them began to dissolve. The burning cornfield vanished, and the suffocating heat subsided. Lily, Ethan, and Claire found themselves standing back on the quiet suburban street. The eerie house was gone, and the street was silent. All that remained was the soft flicker of the jack-o'-lanterns on nearby porches. Panting, Ethan asked,
Did we win?
Lily, still in shock, whispered.
I don't know, but we're alive.
As they walked away,
Until